this video, I would like to talk with you about cognitive dissonance. Now, cognitive dissonance is quite an amazing phenomenon. So for instance, when you play two notes on a piano, sometimes they sound absolutely terrible, and some other times they sound amazing, and you think, wow, that is beautiful, even though there was only two notes. And the same thing kind of applies to our thinking. So for instance, when we listen to one note and we think it doesn't sound too good, and then it's being combined with something else that perhaps doesn't sound good either, we're like, okay, nah, I don't want to listen to that. This could never be a great song. But there are other notes where we think, all right, this single note already sounds beautiful, and then we connect it with something that still sounds beautiful, and we think, all right, the combination of these two is even more beautiful than just a single note. Now, cognitive dissonance is not about notes. It's not about music. It's rather about how we think. And there are basically two things that our brain assumes. So for instance, if we learn a certain information and it's consistent with what we already know, we're like, okay, this information has a high likelihood to be true. And then the person that already told us something that is inconsistency with what we already know, we're likely to trust that person. So for instance, if I tell you right now, and this is just a very silly example, if I tell you right now that the sky is blue, of course, I mean, we can both agree on that, the sky is blue. And for instance, if I tell you that a lot of sand in the desert is kind of this sandish color, yellow color, brown, kind of golden color, well, you might be thinking, yes, this guy actually says the truth. Now, when we, of course, take this very silly example away and apply that cognitive dissonance to a more, let's say, extreme, a more sophisticated level, we can then form our arguments. So if you want to persuade someone to do something, what you want to do is you first of all want to find a common denominator. You want to make sure that they agree with you on something that they already know. So basically you want to name an information that they know about, and they're like, okay, yeah, this is what I think too. And then afterwards, you want to start with something that's perhaps new to that person. But this is then the point where you're going to be more persuasive, or let's say more likely to be persuasive than in a situation where you just simply say that argument, state that argument to a person that doesn't know you and has no foundation whatsoever and no, let's say, common ground with you to agree on. So make sure when you go into an argument, when you try to persuade someone, that you first of all name something, state an argument that this person knows to be true, because this then basically correlates to the first principle that we talked about, and that is consistency. We have a consistency in our thinking. So we want to, first of all, hear something that we know is true or that we believe to be true. And then afterwards, then people that we trust can tell us new things which we then assume to be true, because that person, as we know, is likely to tell the truth. And this is how you become more persuasive. But alright, that was it now here for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope we can see each other in the next one.